ETH 2.0, another exciting calendar event for those in crypto. And I know you're very optimistic on this. What are you expecting from Ethereum price from this? And also the Ethereum price structure building up to ETH 2.0?
So, it's the structure leading up is I don't know, because there's a bunch of things going on, which is the network's been slow because retail investors have had their earnings crimped by inflation, so they've had less marginal money to be able to put in. There's the Fed tightening, central banks tightening. So there's a lot going on in this picture right now, which is why these prices have been wide-ranging and sideways. Usually, these big events are a turning point one way or the other. So if you went into it at a high in ETH, much like we went into the ETF or we went into the Coinbase listing was the absolute high to the day. Because what you did with the Coinbase listing is you gave people another alternative. So before they were forced into opening Bitcoin accounts, then they didn't have to, so they bought the equity, and you lost billions and tens of billions of dollars of demand. So it depends what happens to ETH 2.0 and where it is. Because if the price is at a high, then all of the people who've been staking are likely to take profits when they can unstake. Now, when they unlock that stake, everybody else in the market knows that there'll be a seller, so you'll force them out at a lower price. It's just how markets work. If we go in at a low, then it's going to be like the Bitcoin halving, where suddenly this triple halving event happens and the price just recovers automatically because so much ETH is burnt. So I don't really know. I was expecting ETH to have been stronger into the back end of the year, and so therefore I was expecting this whole thing to be at a high. I just don't know yet.
But you did buy some more ETH.
I did
in January, in 20.
Oh yeah, I'm still bullet. I mean, I haven't sold a single thing. I've done nothing but buy for 18 months, and I haven't sold a single thing. 20 months now.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I did watch a video of yours from October 2020, and you said that Bitcoin was in this supermassive black hole. The narrative will continue to grow for 18 months. And I was like, 18 months is quite specific. What happens after the 18 months? And the 18 months will be around March. Was there an intention behind March 2022, or was it more phrasing?
No, it was actually around the previous Bitcoin halving cycles and how long they last for. And previous price charts suggested that around March would be the peak. But that whole pattern fell apart in December. So everybody was expecting the rally. Market loves pain. It chooses to do the opposite for this lack of network growth and a bunch of this other things. So therefore, it kind of suggests that the structure of the halving cycles has changed. And I think that's probably right. And I think the downside will be less. Maybe we're in a bear market, and maybe the bear market is down 30, 40, 50%, as opposed to down 80%, which was the previous ones. Maybe the cycles are shorter. I've looked at Amazon in the past. It used to start with big violent swings, down 95%, then down 80%, down 60%, and then it just did this and just went up. I kind of think that's what network adoption looks like. The more people come onto the network, the less downside there is. Yes, it doesn't spike as high, but the uptrend is stronger and the cycles tend to be shorter. So that's kind of my working hypothesis right now. We'll have to see how it plays out. But I kind of think the cycles are shorter and less steep.
I think what's interesting as well, staking has played a huge element in this, and also the NFT metaverse boom, from my side, almost gives this kind of cushioning and support to vulnerable Ethereum prices. Is that kind of the case from your side?
So if you think about it, what makes a network really robust is not only investors in it, i.e. token holders, but when people are developing on it, and then you're developing other projects on it that also have investors on top, you're creating network effects. So if you think of ETH in those terms, so there's now demand for the network, which is why ETH is so expensive. Gas fees are so expensive because everybody wants to use ETH. Okay, and then you've got the other phenomena where those expensive gas fees are going to burning ETH. So what you're doing is taking ETH out of supply as well. And that's, I think, the key reason why ETH was up 450% last year and Bitcoin was up 60%. It's to do with the robustness of the network and that burning of tokens and the fact that Bitcoin doesn't have Ethereum, doesn't have NFTs, doesn't have smart contracts. It doesn't have any of this on it. It's got the Lightning layer, but the Lightning layer, basically what it does is batches a bunch of transactions on one blockchain slot. So you're actually not using vast amounts of the network. So I think that's why Ethereum did so well versus Bitcoin last year.
We are going to end with a kind of a crypto price prediction. I'm going to pick your brains a little bit. But just before that, is there any predictions for 2022 in the industry that you have that might be something that we've not covered yet that you're expecting to see or hoping to see?
I think that, and I've been alluding this for some time because it's stuff that I'm working on that I can't really talk about, but I think this is the year of social tokens. People don't really yet, I talk about it, people don't really get it. We're seeing Bored Ape start with the ape token. There's some of these, but these are still small scale. We're going to see some gigantic communities tokenize, and we'll see the power of token economics. So that's the big thing that people aren't aware of because they haven't seen it yet. So that's my big prediction for this year. In terms of price, I don't know. I kind of got it right and wrong last year. I said Ethereum was going to be the big trade, and that did really well. I did think Bitcoin would end up much higher than 100,000. I thought it was close to 150,000, and it stopped at 69,000 wherever it got to. And so I don't know if I'm qualified to make a prediction, but I stick with, I use the logarithmic channel and the upside for Bitcoin if we get traction again, particularly if we end up with some central bank easing, which I think we will get the last part of the year or allusion to it. I still think Bitcoin can probably do, it could probably do 300% or so this year, and ETH could do more, significantly more again.
ETH could do more. That is really interesting, and I think a lot of people are going to be thrilled at that prediction as well. It seems like a very
but you have to discount the fact that I didn't get it right last year. I mean, I got it right because I made a lot of money from it, but I didn't get it right in terms of price prediction. Price predictions are impossible because the texture of markets changes over the year, and you need to understand what that means. I mean, I'm not in this for the short term, so I don't really care, which is so. But all I care about is the adoption and stuff like that. So yeah, it's tricky to make predictions, but we'll see.